Hey guys and girls, welcome back to another exciting episode of All About Life. In today's segment, we are going to be talking about body count. I know a lot of yous right now thinking body count, come on, Aunt, come on. You know, I know you could do a little better with your videos and your topics, but that's a hot topic being discussed today. Don't pay no mind to the background. We're having a little technical difficulty, but that'll get straightened out at some point. The point is that body count is something that has been discussed for many years, right? This is not a new concept. This has been around for centuries. And when I mean centuries, I'm talking about a lot of centuries, okay? We all know that men and women have been treated differently in the past and even till today, right? Men and women are not the same. We do preach equality in this country, in the United States, if you're not from here. However, we know that the dynamics are not quite the same. Men are typically valued when they do sleep around a lot. And if you don't know what body count means, body count is essentially how many sexual partners you've had, all right? And when we talk about sex, we're talking about actual intercourse. So if you kissed a guy and you're a girl, that doesn't count as a body count, right? Or if you're a guy and you kissed whoever, it doesn't count. It only counts if you're sexually clapping some cheeks, or if you are on the receiving end, if you know what I mean. So the point is that we all know that men have always been glorified for the more women they slept with, more partners they've had, while women have been condemned for the amount of partners they've had, okay? So as you can see, there's a big disparity. Guys are called players, women are called hoes, essentially, right? So this concept obviously started way long time ago, back when men were making sure that their seed, as in the child that they were having with a woman, was theirs, okay? So this concept makes sense. Even in today's society, you see that a lot of women will be having children that are not the quote-unquote fathers. It's someone out of wedlock, meaning that they cheated and they're having someone else's child. But they are expecting the man that they're with to raise them. And you'll see some dumbass posts that glorifies that type of behavior, where women will actually say, you're not a real man if you can't take care of another man's child, all right? And mind you, this is before even knowing that that woman has a child. If you meet a woman in life that has children before you actually interacted with her, then you make that assessment if you are willing to take care of her children. But imagine being in a relationship with a woman and she actually does cheat on you, and in the result of cheating, she ends up getting pregnant with someone else's child. And imagine you start raising that child for many years, but then eventually you find out that that child is not yours. That's a blow to the heart. It's a blow, right? Because you're investing so much in a child that's not yours because of something that your woman did or that woman did. That is inexcusable. And it happens a lot actually in this country because women, for the most part, do whatever they want, whenever they want, right? And the results are chaotic. So, does body count matter, all right? Now, I'm going to give you my own personal experience, and I'm also going to kind of talk about the two sides, right? The two spectrums that exist and all the shades in between, right? Personally, I believe body count does count, okay? However, even if you do find a partner that you actually like, and I mean someone that you like, so if I find a woman that I really do like, that is something that I'm willing to dismiss. However, you'll see that that person's behavior pattern does correlate with the body count, all right? And I'm going to give you an example. There's one girl that I was dating for a few months. Me and her, we got along very nicely. I mean, we were here. It was great while it lasted until towards the end when I started seeing major issues, okay? But prior to that, that woman, she was fun to be around. Sex was good. Very good person to socialize with, someone to talk to. This was a person that I was hanging out with on a daily basis, damn near. She would literally just skip work, stay at my crib, and then I would work in my crib, run some errands, and then rinse and repeat, you know? And I noticed that I kind of started to slow down on my purpose as far as certain things that I should have been doing while I was spending time with her. But that was because, again, I started to choose her over what I was doing in my life. She would just sleep over, and since she did sleep over, it was a little more difficult for me to focus on work, so I started slacking. I started slacking with my gym, and I started slacking with some of my financials, okay? Now, aside from that, I did enjoy her company. However, throughout that time that I was spending with her, I noticed certain things about her. And it was more so like, I almost felt like she was trying to change a part of who she was to be with me. And towards the end, she acknowledged that. Now, she didn't go into the details that I'm saying right now, where I believe body count is correlated. This woman had a very, very sexual past, okay? She's been with multiple partners, had a lot of sexual escapades, you know, trying out different things, trying out multiple, doing a little bit of pretty much everything that you can think of, right? I wasn't too keen on that, but I actually did like this girl. So because of that, I decided, you know what? I'm going to overlook it. But there are consequences overlooking a woman's past, because her past usually bites you right in the ass. And that's just being real. So what ended up happening was that at some point, she needed to kind of go back to the party life. Mind you, this woman was already 30 years old, you know? So you would think that the party life should be already kind of out of her system, especially if she's done a lot. Wrong. The fact of the matter is that the more sexual experienced the girl is, the more she's going to crave, okay? So giving you an example, I'm not saying that it was this person per se. If you were a girl that likes conducting yourself in threesomes, foursomes, getting trains run on you, going to sexual parties where you're messing around with different partners at a time, right? You're doing a lot of these crazy sexual escapades that outside of potentially catching an STI or STD, you know, you're putting yourself in a little bit of harm's way. I think we could all agree on that if you are super sexually active with multiple people, especially people that you don't know, right? When you start conducting yourself in that lifestyle, it's very hard to turn back, okay? Because now a monogamous relationship with one person, there's going to be, even if that person is doing very well, I mean, they're giving you quality dick, right? This person is really giving it to you hard in the way that you like it, right? It's still not going to compare to a lot of the experiences that you had because you were used to getting plowed down by multiple guys in one setting. You were used to going to sex parties where you're with some of your friends, your girlfriends, and you guys were swapping partners, people that were there that you found very attractive, okay? A lot of these things start to warp the way that you think as far as your sexuality, right? And I'm not going to say there's a wrong or right way to go about things because your life is your prerogative. However, it does hurt para bonding with one mate, meaning that more than likely the only way you're going to be able to rock, right? The only way you're going to be able to function in any kind of relationship is an open relationship or a polyamorous relationship where you have multiple partners. And even that might be hard because open is a little safer where you could just do whatever you want. That's just the reality when you mess with multiple partners. As a man or woman, by the way, I'm not gonna just exclude men out of this situation. Men are included. However, it does play out differently, right? So now we're gonna go on to the other spectrum, which there's still some more to unveil when it comes to women, because again, it targets their behavior on how they react and how they interact. A lot of those women are promiscuous, meaning that when they go on dates, they're more than likely to give it up to a guy that they're attracted to, which I don't find necessarily a problem with that. But if I'm one out of hundreds, I'm probably not going to be too cool about that, and neither will you. Now, on the men's spectrum, a man having multiple partners. Technically, that should be considered the same, right? Wrong. So outside of potentially getting STIs and STDs, which also applies to the man, there are some benefits when you are sexually active with multiple girls. You learn a lot about sex, okay? And that is not super necessary for a woman if the woman is willing to learn with that partner that she's with. Whether she had one partner, 10, 20, 30, the amount really doesn't matter. because any person can learn. But with men, being sexually good at what you do is always a plus, because a lot of women, they enjoy being with guys that know what they're doing. They know how to have fun. They know how to sexually please you. They know how to do a lot of things in their lives, which makes them exciting. It makes them fun to be around, okay? So a guy with experience is more valuable than a guy that's inexperienced. However, a woman that's experienced versus a woman that's inexperienced, the girl that's inexperienced, in hindsight, is more valuable than the girl that is experienced, okay? And that's because, like I said earlier in this video, dating back centuries ago, if you are messing with a girl that's only messing with you, you can guarantee that your offspring are yours, okay? And not anyone else's. You can guarantee that there aren't going to be no sexual escapades that she's going to go behind your back, right? She might think about it, but because she hasn't done it, it's not going to trigger her of a sense of missing out. Missing out is when you already have done something and you are not doing it anymore. It's like, well, damn, I miss doing this versus I've never done it. Now, some may argue, if you've never done it and never gotten it out of your system, how would you know if you're about that life? Well, you won't know, but what you don't know won't hurt you. And that is a truism. If your partner doesn't know how it is or what it's like to be a quote unquote hoe or a player, they won't miss it because they're already used to and satisfied with the lifestyle that they have. But now when you have introduced that person to said lifestyle, it's going to be very difficult to stay with one person. And that again applies to both sexes. But as I said before, it is beneficial that the man is experienced. He will get a lot of points with any woman, okay? Now, when we talk about the amount of partners, what is too much, what is too little, that's person-to-person basis. What I do notice from my experiences is that a lot of women will downplay their numbers while a lot of men will upplay their numbers. They'll go up in numbers. If they only slept with 10, they'll say they've been with 20. If a girl has slept with 20, she'll say she's been with 10. And usually those amounts are much greater or less depending on the individual, okay? Now, keep in mind that because a woman has slept around a lot, that doesn't mean that you can't have some sort of relationship with her. I'm just talking about in this particular case, if you're trying to have a monogamous relationship with her, it's going to be very difficult because she's going to miss, regardless how well you're throwing that dick down, she's going to miss the excitement that she had in other areas of her life, especially her sexual life. Not to mention that typically the friends that she had around her before, if they're still around, they're going to influence her to go back to that lifestyle. So not only she may miss it, but she'll also have more than likely an influence to keep going back, revisiting it. Mind you, she's with you in a quote-unquote monogamous relationship, meaning that she will be cheating on you. And you as a man, if you're okay with that, that's cool. If you're in an open relationship, that's also cool. But understand that if you're looking for a one-on-one deal, it's going to be very difficult for that woman to not want to venture out of your relationship. Okay, so now I will talk about the body counts in the sense of what makes the attraction there, okay? Because there is a sense of an attraction. When a man gets with a girl, it may sound bad, ladies, but a lot of guys want to feel like they're with a prized possession. That's why typically, women, you are the prize, right? But you're not the prize because of your fantastic personality or because, you know, you feel like you're a very good person and you've accomplished a lot of things in your life, whether it is business, school, whatever orientation. No, it's typically because you have a low body count. So if a guy meets you and finds out that you've only been with a few guys, he's going to feel good about that, right? Because he's going to feel like he has something that no one else had. Now on the flip end side, and a lot of you will probably argue just to argue, but there's a lot of data out there, if you want to do some research, that supports my stance. If you're a guy that has few partners, let's say you're in the position where you only had 2 or 3 partners, you're at a detriment, okay? Because a lot of women will know if you're not sexually experienced. If you've only been with a few partners, you don't have experience to please majority of women. And when I mean majority is multiple women. Being able to please multiple women comes from experience of sleeping with multiple women because every woman is different. So you have to realize that being able to please that girl is going to be important. Does every girl value sex at a high standing? No. Women and men are going to value different things. However, sex is usually important for men and women. Don't kid yourself. A lot of women in social media, if you are keeping tabs, will let you know that sex is very important to them. And again, some may argue immature, young women, that's their mindset. But at the end of the day, you're not trying to get with an old hag, are you, right? You as a man, unless you're really up in age, you're not trying to get with a 40, 50, 60-year-old woman that has already experienced life in its entirety and is just settling down just to have a partner before she drops, if you know what I mean. You're more than likely going to get with a girl that is pretty much starting out life. So ages 18, between 18 to like 35. And 35 is like a midway point, but she's still relatively young as far as in her looks and appearances. Now, her eggs might be partially dried up, but that's a whole nother conversation. So the point I'm trying to make is that body count matters. Is it going to matter to everybody in the same capacity? No. Some men will say, I'll accept anything, even though a lot of men deep down, no cap. If they're with a girl that has had 100+ partners or with just a lot of people from what they consider a lot, they won't be too happy about that. And I could also say the same could be said about a woman. If a woman knows how many partners you've been with and you say I've been with over 100, probably not going to be the best thing. Even though a part of her might be curious, but it's still not going to sound great. But we know that experience comes with multiple partners and trying out different things. Again, with a man, a woman can learn how to please that man because that man is going to be unique in the pleasure that he would like to receive. Women, on the other hand, when you have experience, you'll be able to learn how to please that woman. And a lot of times, at least in my case, I've been able to please women right off the get-go. I've been able to make them squirt. I've been able to make them come. I've been able to make them yell, grab, hold tightly, scratch. I mean, the whole nine. Because they're so engaged into that sex. When a woman is gasping for air and shaking, and she got to hold on to something or hold on to you, you know you're doing it right. And you also may realize that she may not have experienced that too much in her life, which is also a plus thing. That's why personally, I like to be with a woman that has few partners if I'm looking for relationship purposes. Now, if I'm looking to smash, I don't mind hanging out with a girl that's been with multiple partners because at the end of the day, after I'm done pleasing her, it's not going to matter as far as the long term is concerned, right? I might be with the girl for a few months or maybe longer, it just depends. But in my mind, I'm not really concerned on wifing her or making her more than just what she is, all right? But everyone's different. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. There was a few sidetracks, you see me blinging out a little bit, but that's because I'm gonna be heading out after this video, okay? Your man's got the date. But, hope you like this video. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. It'll greatly help it grow. And leave a comment right in the comment section below if you have any questions or concerns or topics you would like me to discuss. Jonathan wasn't able to be in this video, but he might be in the next. Thank you for watching, and as always, this channel is all about you. Catch you guys on the next video.